This is Cougar News.
Hello, and welcome to our second edition of Cougar Newsbriefs. I'm Sammy Giebers, and here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. All throughout America, human trafficking has become a very serious issue. Last Friday, College of the Canyons hosted a conference to raise awareness on human trafficking and the threat that it possesses. Here's Taylor Enns with the story.
This past Friday, College of the Canyons hosted a conference to raise awareness for human trafficking. With attendance higher than expected, the event was moved from the University Center to the Physical Education East building to have room for the over 300 attendees.
We thought we would have maybe 60 people, and then as the RSVPs started coming in, we realized that we had to move our venue, and today we've had over 300 people here today.
We're really amazed by how big of a response and how big this program actually ended up being. It's huge, and as you can see, everybody across the county is here locally. We have a lot of students, and we're really happy to see that the students at College of the Canyons are as interested in this subject as they are.
Many of the event's organizers emphasized the importance of awareness and the fact that human trafficking does happen, and it happens here. They also thought it was important to mention the importance of technology and the role it has in human trafficking.
But now they were talking about the apps, the new apps, and they were giving the ideas how to protect each other. And that's huge for us to see as service providers and as law enforcement agency, to see how all these young people are getting together and helping to protect each other.
Well, these two problems affect everybody. And, whether it's the people of Santa Clarita or the people of the world, the problem is the same in every community. It's amazing.
There is always something going on at the Valencia Public Library. This week, Quest Toastmasters focused on the idea of anti-bullying.
Can we rid the world of every single bully? No. At the Valencia Public Library, Quest Toastmasters highlights the preventative steps on the issues of bullying and how one can effectively recognize when someone's being bullied.
Well, first is to recognize that that person is being bullied and then give them advice and help them in stopping the bullying.
Quest Toastmasters gave the public some great tips during their presentation.
Bullying does happen. We all see it. It could be small, could be big. Some of it could be less obvious. But the one thing is, if you see obvious bullying where someone's getting picked on, step in.
This presentation wasn't just about bullying. It was also giving tips to college students on what they can do to succeed in their individual careers.
Everything we do is about communication. A lot of people think communication is about just expressing themselves. It's not. A baby, you put an infant in front of an audience, it will express itself. The most challenging part about communication is to influence your audience to see things from your point of view.
Really, if you want to do something, if you think you want to do something for the community, to just go for it. In the beginning, I was afraid. Should I go? Should I approach the library and try to put this together? But I just went out there, asked them, and then I asked different people. I asked the sheriff's department. I asked my group if they would want to do it, and everybody was really supportive, and it was just a response of yes, yes, yes. So, to not be afraid if you're thinking of going and doing something, to not be afraid to go out there and just ask, because most likely than not, people will say yes.
For Cougar News, I'm Josh Thomas.
Local veterans are urged to reach out to the Santa Clarita Valley and Antelope Valley Housing Authorities. A new program known as VIP has provided homeowners financial incentives to reserve their homes specifically for the purpose of housing veterans. Veterans have fought for us, and now the government wants to fight for them. Please contact the Santa Clarita Valley Housing Authority for more information. One of the most underrepresented groups in November's election are people under the age of 25. As part of its new civic engagement push, COC recently connected students with the election process. Xandra Blake has more.
Many people might not know who the Board of Trustees are or what they do, but in 3 weeks, 3 seats will be up for grabs in Santa Clarita. On Tuesday, the students had a chance to meet 4 of the candidates.
For students, the most important things you participate in are local elections that affect your local area. I know this year is a big presidential election and people are interested or not interested, but more importantly are the local elections, because that's what affects your life on a day-to-day basis.
Current board member Michelle Jenkins is running against newcomer Jerry Danielson. Jenkins says she should continue to serve to help COC manage the recently passed Measure E, which has provided the schools with much-needed funds.
We know the direction the college is going. We know the importance of expanding class offerings and making more science courses available in particular. And that was the idea behind the bond measure that we passed in June, was to be able to expand those offerings. And I think it's important for us to stay here and be on the board to make sure that those dollars are spent like as we said they would be spent in expanding classes and offering more variety, that kind of thing.
Danielson, a small business owner, believes COC is ready for a change.
By voting, the students would have a say in having a representative like me who cares about them, I believe, as a top priority, as opposed to many other issues that could exist.
Area 2 will be another hotly contested race in Santa Clarita. Former instructor and COC faculty president Adele Alonzo is trying to unseat Bruce Fortain, who has been on the board since the school's beginning in 1969.
I would love to be in a position where I can make decisions that are going to impact them for the positive.
If you or anybody who is a student here likes what's happening at the college, and anybody in the community, if we've done a good job, then we should be returned to office.
So COC students have a clear dividing line between the incumbents and the challengers. Only you can make that decision. I'm Xander Blake with Cougar News.
There has been 3 recent mass mail theft incidents in the Santa Clarita Valley, resulting in mail stolen from 40 local businesses. 2 communal mailboxes in Valencia were ransacked, one on Avenue Scott and the other on Avenue Stanford. Affected businesses have since been collecting their mail from Creekside Post Office. On Monday morning, 7 black garbage bags full of stolen mail were found by a resident in Canyon Country. Authorities are cautioning others to keep a close eye on their neighborhoods and on their mail. What causes someone to hike 2,600 miles from Mexico to Canada? I spoke with a hiker who took on the Pacific Crest Trail and spent 4.5 months in the wilderness. Physical endurance was only half the battle. Mental toughness pushed this hiker through waterless stretches, 700 miles of desert, and treacherous weather conditions.
2,650 miles.
Took me 4.5 months, 136 days.
4 pairs of shoes.
These things are destroyed.
And up to 35 pounds of equipment.
I ran as light as I could, so hiking would be much easier.
All elements that were a part of Cameron DeLuzak's travels on the Pacific Crest Trail. But the hike didn't start on the path. It started right here in Agua Dulce.
So we drove out to Vasquez Rocks and hiked on it, and somebody told me that this trail goes from Mexico to Canada. Ever since then I was intrigued and became obsessed.
So this past summer, DeLuzak hit the trail, fighting through physical tolls.
You have to deal with the mosquitoes, the sun, the cold, running out of food.
But a positive mindset is what this hiker believed got him through that 4-month trek.
After you get, past the physical aspect, it's mental. The best way to describe it is being okay with being uncomfortable.
Hiking through deserts, snow, and hazardous weather conditions, using the gear he carried on his back.
Wool leggings, wool shirt, polyester leggings that I would hike in.
And some company to help him through the rough times. But DeLuzak often found himself walking alone.
I did hear a bunch of sticks breaking around my tent at night, and I have no idea what they were, so that's always terrifying.
So what made the blisters, dehydration, blood, sweat, and tears worth it.
It was rewarding, it was tough, it was miserable, it was amazing, it was terrible, but then again you come over, a pass in the mountains and you see the view and then you remember why you're there.
Seeing views like the ones here was what got this hiker to the end. But Cameron doesn't see his life on the trail stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, it's something that can't be taken away from you, and I think that's the best thing about it is, the experience, and it's like a drug, I'm addicted.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Sammy Giebers.
This Saturday, October 8th, is the last auto show at the Route 66 restaurant in Canyon Country. Safe Rides, which operates the restaurant's vintage car show, helps raise funds through their raffle, where half the proceeds goes to Safe Rides. Safe Rides is a program that offers teens safe ways to get home after a night out. The auto show takes place every Saturday, starting in May, and goes until October.
This is a car show to benefit Safe Rides so that any teenager within the school district goes to a party and the person they went with has had a beer or a drink they should not have had, then this person may not want to ride home with them. And then at the end of the year, each car show, they pick the best of the best for that night. Then at the end, October, all of them are invited back, and then we pick the best of the best, and it's a huge trophy.
College of the Canyons was named one of the top 25 best U.S. colleges for adults. Here's Jacqueline Barrientos with more.
College of the Canyons was named one of the top 25 best U.S. colleges for adults. Adults studying at College of the Canyons can take advantage of the school's programs, such as the Adult Reentry program.
Our Adult Reentry program is it's tailored to our students. So every semester it changes up a bit based on student response, on what is needed for that particular time of year. We have had mentor programs, we have had orientations and workshops and how-tos, but also that one-on-one guidance is really what we find works best.
For Cougar News, I'm Jacqueline Barrientos.
The 14th annual Rubber Ducky Festival was held last weekend at Bridgeport Park to raise money for the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center. Those involved in the fundraising efforts were welcome to participate in a rubber ducky race, competing for prizes. The proceeds are donated to the health center, which provides quality care to those who are under or uninsured. Besides races, the event provided food trucks, entertainment, and a kid zone, including a rock climbing wall, face painting, and many other activities.
This is 14th year that we've been doing this rubber duck race. It's a fundraiser for the Samuel Dixon Family Health Centers. The objective is to raise funds to subsidize patient visits at one of our 3 clinics.
I just love the fact that Valencia does these types of things for the family like that it's like so family centric, and I don't have to always drive all the way to LA to do something fun to get my kids out and about and enjoy. So I'm happy about that.
That's it for tonight's Cougar Newsbrief. I'm Sammy Giebers, and for more news in and around Santa Clarita Valley, check us out on cougarnews.com.